The Yellowjackets Season 3 soundtrack plays an important role in continuing to develop the show's past and present-day timelines. Yellowjackets Season 3's story picks up in the aftermath of the cabin being burnt down in the wilderness and Natalie Scatorcio, Juliette Lewis, being accidentally killed by Misty Quigley, Christina Ricci. Without the cabin, the teenage survivors have to adapt and find a new way to survive in the wilderness. As the present-day survivors deal with the fallout from Natalie's death, a new threat emerges, and is stalking Shauna Sadecki, Melanie Linsky. Yellowjackets Season 2's ending also saw teenage Natalie, Sophie Thatcher, becoming the group's new leader, Coach Ben Scott, Stephen Kruger, leaving the group, and present-day Lottie Matthews, Simone Kessel, being institutionalized and losing the community she built. Season 3 explores the ramifications of these developments in both of Yellowjackets' timelines. The soundtrack is a key piece of this exploration, and with the past timeline taking place in the 1990s, many of the songs are fittingly from that decade. Maxwell Murders, by Rancid, Episode 1 initially tries to make the audience think that Marie, Alexa Borojos, is being hunted for the purpose of being eaten by the other girls. However, it quickly becomes clear that the hunt is not about cannibalism, and is part of a game called Capture the Bone. When teenage Misty, Samantha Hanratty, runs and helps her team win, Maxwell Murders, by Rancid plays, and is a sign that there is still darkness among the girls despite their seemingly improved circumstances. Morning Has Broken, by Cat Stevens, after losing the cabin, the teenagers have now built new shelters and an entire community. There is no longer any need to eat each other, as they have gathered ducks, who are primarily looked after by Aquila, Nia Sundaya, and the warmer weather makes it possible to successfully hunt again. Morning Has Broken, by Cat Stevens can be heard as the Season 3 premiere showcases the new home and lifestyle the girls have created for themselves. I Think We're Alone Now, by Tiffany. In the present day, Tysa Turner, Tawny Cypress, and Van Palmer, Lauren Ambrose, momentarily go back to being mischievous teenagers as they continue to rekindle their relationship. They decide to leave an upscale restaurant without paying, and while being pursued by a waiter, they joyfully run and laugh as I Think We're Alone Now, by Tiffany plays. The song abruptly cuts off when the waiter is almost hit by a bus, and he collapses and has a fatal heart attack. Glycerine, by Bush. Tysa and Van do not see what happened to the waiter and are filled with glee after their impulsive and thrilling decision to run away without paying. As they kiss, Glycerine, by Bush kicks in. With the song's lyrics being about the complexities of a romantic relationship, it is a fitting song to play in this Tysa and Van scene, given their history and the man with no eyes briefly appearing as well. Cherry Bomb, by Runaways. While continuing to struggle with the grief and self-loathing she feels after accidentally killing Natalie, Misty goes to a bar. Cherry Bomb, by Runaways can be heard playing in the background of the bar after she arrives. The song is then amplified as Misty drinks numerous shots and unsuccessfully tries to drown her feelings in alcohol. Cherry Bomb works as a metaphor for how Misty is feeling, especially when she begins to antagonize and threaten the other bar patrons as she struggles to cope with her inner turmoil. I Will Survive, by Cake. Episode 1 ends with Marie falling into a pit, hurting herself, and crying out for help. Her call is not heard by any of her fellow teenage survivors, but by Coach Scott, who has been surviving on his own in the wilderness. As a terrified Marie looks up at him, and Coach Scott looks down at her, I Will Survive, by Cake plays, and it continues into the episode's end credits, leaving the question of what Coach Scott and Marie will each now have to do to survive. Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 2 songs. Dislocation, Virtual Insanity, by Jamiroquai. As seen from Van's video rental store in Season 2, she still loves 1990s popular culture. This makes it no surprise that when singing karaoke at home, she sings Virtual Insanity, by Jamiroquai, a song that was released in 1996. Prior to stepping on a drinking glass and cutting her foot, the scene feels light-hearted and another indicator of Van and Tysa living their best lives together, with neither of them aware yet of the waiter's death. Rebel Girl, by Bikini Girl. Episode 2 ends with a twist as teenage Shauna, Sophie Nellis, and Melissa, Jenna Burgess, kiss while present-day Shauna tries to figure out the identity of her stalker. As a song that subverts the patterns of heterosexual pop music, it makes sense to play Rebel Girl, by Bikini Girl as Shauna's attraction to women is revealed. Shauna's relationship with Melissa will be integral in the past timeline, and potentially in the present as well as Yellowjackets Season 3 continues. Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 3 songs. Them's the Breaks. I'm Too Sexy, by Right Said Fred. Yellowjackets Season 3, Episode 3 opens with I'm Too Sexy, by Right Said Fred. The upbeat music is juxtaposed with the captive Marie singing to the tune of the song and modifying the words to say she is too sexy to be trapped in this cave. With Murray and Coach Ben talking about their difficulties coming to terms with their current realities, the juxtaposition is aligned with their struggles in this episode. Nookie, by Limp Bizkit, the meaning of the title, "Them's the Brakes," becomes clear when Shauna is driving, and she finds herself unable to control the brakes in her car. Nookie, by Limp Bizkit plays as Shauna struggles to regain control of the car and attempts to stop it before she or Misty are killed. Shauna blames Misty for cutting the brakes and makes several other accusatory and unkind comments, which finally gets Misty to see that Shauna does not value her and does not see her as a friend. Make Your Own Kind of Music, by Cass Elliot, episode 3 sees Lottie and Shauna's daughter, Callie Sadecki, Sarah Desjardins, continuing to become closer. This leads to them cooking dinner in the kitchen of the Sadecki home while they dance, laugh, and sing along to Make Your Own Kind of Music, by Cass Elliot. A song about fearlessness and carving one's own path is an appropriate choice for the unique relationship Lottie and Callie are forging, even though Shauna does not approve. Cold, by The Cure, after saving teenage Shauna, Van, Liv Hewson, and Akilah from poisonous gas, Coach Ben is cornered by Natalie and the other survivors. Cold, by The Cure plays as the Yellowjackets episode ends and during the credits as Coach Scott's fate now lies in the hands of the girls that he left behind. They believe that he was responsible for burning down the cabin, which he insisted to Marie that he did not do, and was not aware of it until she told him about what happened.